Welcome to Science Store online classes.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Well, moving to the next concept, Pascal's law. This is one of the very important law in fluid mechanics, students. So what does this Pascal's law state is? Let me tell you very simple way. Okay, so if I ask you, it's all about pressure. Pascal's law is all about pressure. So I have this beaker and beaker is filled with the water, correct? I have a beaker and beaker is filled with the water. I mentioned 2 points on this beaker, okay? One is point A, another one is point B. One is point A, another one is point B. So pressure at the point A, let it be PA, and at B, PB. Now my question is whether pressure PA and PB are equal. PA and PB are equal. No, pressure at A and pressure at B are unequal. Pressure at A and pressure at B are unequal. Which is greater? So the one which is having higher depth is greater. So PB is greater than PA. Then if I have a point C here, this is C, this is A, this is C. Then pressure at C is PC. Pressure at A is PA. Pressure at B is PB, pressure at C is PC. Now tell me which are equal. So according to Pascal's law, PA is equal to PC. It is not according to, it is the truth. So pressure at 2 points having the same height inside the fluid is equal. As the depth increases, pressure also increases. So you are in a swimming pool. You might have gone to swimming pool. How swimming pool looks like? Swimming pool ಹೇಗಿರ್ತದೆ? So ಅದರ depth increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. First ಗೆ 4 feet ಇಂದ ಶುರುವಾಗಿ next 5 feet ಆಗ್ತದೆ, 6 feet, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 feet ವರೆಗೆ. So generally 15 feet ವರೆಗೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನೀವು ಮೇಲಿಂದ ನೋಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ when you look at from the top view, you feel that okay, water level is same, so depth is same. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಎಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇಳಿತೀರ, 4 ಫೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇಳಿತೀರ, ವಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಂಡಿಗೆ ವಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಾಗ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ವಾಟರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಲೆವೆಲಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇಮ್ಮರ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ವಾಟರ್. ಯಾಕೆ? ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಯಿತು. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮರ್, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಅ ಗುಡ್ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮರ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮರ್, just go to that deeper end, 16 feet or 13 feet, whatever. Just go to that bottom level, and if you have learnt breathing technique, only try it. So the pressure there you experience will be more, your ears will block, so it will be more compared to at the higher level. Bottom alli ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡುವ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅದೇ ಮಿಡ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಪ್ರೆಷರಿಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅಥವಾ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಪೂಲಿನ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರೆಷರಿಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಡೆಪ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಪೂಲಿನ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾಟಮಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಾಗೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ದಟ್ಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್. ಸೊ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಡು ಡೀಪ್ ಡೈವಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡುವವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ when they go to the very higher deep, ಅಂದರೆ when it is too deep, they will experience more pressure. ಆವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ವೆಸಲ್ಸ್, ಬ್ಲಡ್ ನರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್. ಅದೇ ಥರ ನೀವು ಹೈಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಾಗ ಹೋದಾಗೆ ಅರ್ತ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸಿಂದ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಹೈಯರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್. So in the space you don't roam with the bare or naked or with your normal cloth. You will wear a special coat, special cloths will be designed for it. Or special suit will be designed for it. Yake? Because it should maintain your pressure. If you have watched this movie, I guess Martian, yeah, Martian movie. If you have not watched, just go for it, go for that movie. So in that movie, what happens? That one person, the astronaut, he will be left in Mars. So now he is trying to come back to Earth. So somehow they communicate. So at the last ending of the movie, so the scene is he is launching himself from the surface of the Marsiನ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಇಂದ ಅವನನ್ನು ಲಾಂಚ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅವನು ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಶಿಪ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ತಿಗೆ ಬರುವಂತಹ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಶಿಪ್ ಆ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಶಿಪ್ 1 year ಇದ್ದು ಎಂತ ಆರ್ಬಿಟಲ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಶಿಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹಿ ಶುಡ್ ಲಾಂಚ್ ಹಿಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಶುಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಶಿಪ್. ಆ ಥರ ದರ್ ಆರ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಂತ projectile calculation required. So that is the scene. So what happens is he will launch himself because Marsiನ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ equipments ಇಲ್ಲ to build a rocket so that it will launch to a desired height. So when he launch himself, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಶಿಪ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ತಿನ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಶಿಪ್ ಇದೆ, where other astronomers are there in that spaceship and that will take you back to the earth antidre he will launch somewhere here. ಇವಾಗ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, he have nothing. His rocket with which he have launched is here. So what he will do is he will just spin his suit. ಅವನಿಗೊಂದು ಸೂಟ್ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ವಾ, the suit which he supposed to wear in a space, otherwise his nerves will break and he will bleed and he will die. So he will break his suit or he will pin his suit, then all the pressure inside will goes. So that's how he will jump himself to the desired height. So that's a good movie. If you watch it, you will get an idea. So pressure increases as the height increases. So I wanted to tell, in space pressure increases. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಜಾಕೆಟ್ನ ವೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಅದೇ ಥರ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಡೀಪ್ ಸಿ ಡೈವಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ವೇರ್ ಸಚ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆನೇ ಥರ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ವೇರ್ ಸಚ್ ಅ ಕೋಟ್, ಸಚ್ garments which will keep the pressure constant. So pressure increases as you go to the higher depth, and pressure increases as you go higher from the earth surface. ಇದೊಂದು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇದು ಅರ್ತ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಆದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದಾಗಲೂ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದಾಗಲೂ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್. So pressure will be same at every point which is at the same height inside the fluid. ಒಂದು ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡಿನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಸೇಮ್ ಹೈಟಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇರಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎ ಇಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸಿ ಇಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ದಟ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ since as far as they are in the same height, pressure is same. Swimming pool alli you, your friend and other friend, everyone are in the same height, floating in the same height means you experience same pressure. So ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೋದ್ರಿ ಅಂದರೆ you will experience more pressure. So pressure will be same at the same height no matter which position, as far as it is the same container. So there is an ocean, same fluid, correct? So pressure here will be equal to pressure here. This is the same height. Pressure here will also be same because this is the same height. But if the depth increases, pressure also increases. But there is a container here. There is one more container, and which is also filled with the fluid. So I have a point D here, which is equal to the height of A and C. Now pressure at D need not be equal to pressure at A and C because this is a different container and different fluid, correct? So in the same container, same fluid, or in the same source of fluid, pressure will be same at the same height. That's all about Pascal's law. This law is very important. So question might appear for your examination asking what is Pascal's law or explain Pascal's law. So this is Pascal's law. Pressure at every point on the same height inside the fluid will be same. Pressure at every point and the same height inside the fluid is always same. Yes, this is about Pascal's law. We will discuss about some more topics in the next class. So, we have been discussing about mechanical properties of fluid, and we have discussed about Pascal's law in our previous class. So, what Pascal's law says? Pascal's law says that, so the points which are at equal height from inside the fluid will have a same pressure, or points which are at the equal depth inside the fluid will be having equal pressure. So, pressure will be same at all the points which are in the same height inside the fluid. So, that is about Pascal's law. In today's class, what are we going to discuss is variation of pressure with the depth. Variation of pressure with the depth. So, for that what we will consider is, there is one cylinder filled with the water. This cylinder is filled with the water. So, inside that cylinder I consider 2 points. What I do? I consider 2 points. Point A here, or point 1 here, another point is here. So, pressure at this point be P1. Pressure at this point be P2, because they are at 2 different height, correct? Height of P1 is, or depth of P1 is this, depth of P2 is this. They are at different depth, so pressure should vary. If I have another point in the same height as that P1, then pressure here will also be P1. At every point in this line, the pressure will be P1. At every point in this line, pressure will be P2. That's what Pascal's law says. So, now I have considered 2 points P1 and P2. So, what I have to imagine is, I have to imagine a cylinder which is having its face in between those 2 points. What I have to do is, I have to imagine a cylinder which is of liquid cylinder. Okay, there is one cylinder, it is filled with the water, and there are 2 points. I consider 2 points inside that cylinder. Now I have to imagine one more cylinder which is of fluid. So, I consider in this way. So, this is the cylinder. So, whereas one end of the cylinder is at P2, another end, another face of the cylinder is at P1. Are you following me? This is a cylinder, whole cylinder filled with the water. Inside that cylinder I consider 2 points at different height, and those 2 points will have a different pressure. I name it as a P1 and P2, and you know that P2 will be greater than P1, correct, because it is having more depth. If your depth is more, pressure will be more. Now I will assume another cylinder made up of water. Another cylinder made up of water. So, in such a way that one of the face of that cylinder will be at P1, another one will be at P2. Understood? Okay. Now, let the height of the cylinder be h. What is the height? H is this cylinder. Height of this cylinder, fluid made up of water, will be h. Let the mass. So, as I told you, this whole cylinder is made up of water, or I am just assuming a cylindrical shape which is made up of this water. So, here and all you have a water, isn't it? So, this is all water. Even outside you have water, but I am just considering this portion. Let the mass of this cylinder made up of water be m. If m is the mass, then what is the weight of the cylinder? M into G is the weight which is acting downward. Am I right? So, weight of the cylinder is equal to weight of fluid cylinder. What is that? Is equal to M into G. What is the height of the fluid cylinder? Height of fluid cylinder is h. Okay. So, now P1 is at one face of the cylinder, P2 is at another face of the cylinder. What is pressure, students? Pressure means what? We know that pressure is force per unit area. Am I right? Pressure is force per unit area. Correct? So P1 will be what? Let's say area of cross section of the cylinder is A. Area of cross section means this area, these two areas. So this is also A, this area of cross section is also A. So what will be P1 then? Pressure P1 can be written as P1 is F1 into or F1 by A. A is the area of cross section on which F1 is acting. So how come pressure P1 and P2 exist? How come you can differentiate P1 and P2? What exactly happening here? See, this cylinder is filled with the fluid, water. The water molecule will have a force of interaction between each other. Alright. So now, if I assume a cylinder here, so this portion of the molecules at this edge of the cylinder I have assumed will be acted by force along from all the direction, correct? So will be acted by force of another molecule or other molecule from all the direction. So similarly here also force will be acted. Force will be acted. Here also force will be acted. So this force, right, acting here is F1. This force acting here is F2. Correct? Alright. So this F1 force is acting on A area of cross section. F2 is also acting on A area of cross section. So pressure P1 is F1 by A. Pressure P2 is F1 by F2 by A. So P2 is equal to F2 by A. Because area of cross section is same. If P1 and P2 are different, then F1 and F2 should be different. Area of cross section is same. For a cylinder it is same. So this chalk piece is also in the cylindrical shape. So area of cross section of this end should be equal to this end. Will be equal, correct? If you take any fresh chalk piece. Yeah, this is a fresh chalk piece. See. So area here is equal to area here, right? So similar cylinder is that. So area should be same. Then P1 and P2 are different. How come P1 and P2 are different? Because F1 and F2 are different. So P1 is equal to F1 by A and P2 is equal to F2 by A. So from this you can say F1 is equal to P1 into A. From this you can say F2 is equal to P2 into A. Alright. Now, so this cylinder will exist here. This cylinder will have a weight. So weight is acting downward. If the cylinder is at rest here, then there should be a force which is acting upward, isn't it? Are you following me? So this cylinder is at the center. This cylinder is at the center of this huge cylinder. So how will it remain at the center? This cylinder has a weight which is acting downward. According to what law of motion? Since because of weight this assumed cylinder should have been falling down, but no, it is static at this position. Why? Because there should be a force which is pushing it upward. So what is that force? So you can say that the weight is equal to net force which is acting in an upward direction. Correct? Weight of fluid cylinder should be is equal to upward balancing force. So how do you know that upward balancing force is acting on this cylinder I have assumed? Because that cylinder is at the center and it is at rest. If that have to be rest, even though it has a weight mg, there should be upward force. Let's assume you imagine I am floating here, I am somewhere here standing. Then how could it be possible? I can float here if there is some upward force is acting on me. So balloon, it will be floating on the air. How? The balloon has a weight, why it is not falling down? The upward thrust is acting on the balloon, correct? Then only it will float. Why not this is floating? Because there is no equivalent upward force. There might be upward force, but the weight of this sponge is not equal to the upward force acting, so it is falling down. Weight is greater, so it is falling down. But if you have a cotton or something, you might have been playing when you were a child, so some cotton kind of a flower comes, so that will fly. How it flies? Because its weight and the upward thrust balances. So similar concept here, weight of the fluid cylinder should be equal to upward balancing force. What is the weight of the fluid cylinder? M into G, and upward balancing force is what? See, upward, this is F1 force, this is F2, sorry, this is F1 force and this is F2, correct? F2 is from upward, this is downward. So you can say that upward balancing force is F2 minus F1. Am I right? Upward minus lower downward force is the thrust giving to the cylinder. So this is F2 minus F1. Here mg, F2 minus F1 can be written as P1 into A minus P2 into A. So, sorry, P2 into A minus P1 into A. P2 minus P1 into A is equal to M into G. M into G. If V is the volume, then what is the density of this fluid cylinder? Density will be equal to M by V. So M is equal to density into V. So can I write that here? So density into volume into G is equal to P2 minus P1 into A. What is volume of a cylinder? Volume of a cylinder is area of cross section into height, correct? So volume is equal to density, area of cross section into height is volume, into G is equal to P2 minus P1 into A. A and A gets cancelled. I hope you following. Rho G H is equal to P2 minus P1. What is P2? P2 is the pressure at height, at this height. P1 is the pressure here. P1 is the pressure here. So pressure difference between them, pressure difference between this point and this point is nothing but rho GH. It is dependent on the height of the cylinder, because rho is the density which is constant for a given liquid, and H is G is the acceleration due to gravity, that is also constant value. So if the H varies, pressure difference varies. If the cylinder is of lower, this small, then pressure rho GH will be less. If the cylinder is of very large height, then pressure difference will be more. Imagine that cylinder, huge cylinder this way. This is your huge cylinder. Same thing I am drawing again. This is your huge cylinder, and that small tiny cylinder we assumed, right? Imagine it in this way. This is your tiny cylinder, height is H. So here you should assume a fluid, water, and this point is P1, this point is P2, area of cross section is A. Alright, and weight is mg. Now see, this end is on the surface of the cylinder, correct? This end is on the surface of the cylinder, means P1 is nothing but, if P1 is equal to atmospheric pressure, PA. So pressure here is nothing but atmospheric pressure, right? You have to assume the glass filled with the water. Water on the surface will be atmospheric pressure. So pressure of the water on the surface. Similarly here, pressure, this is on the surface of this huge cylinder. So pressure P1 is equal to atmospheric pressure, then P2 minus PA is equal to rho GH. So P2 is equal to PA plus rho GH. P2 is equal to PA plus rho GH. PA is atmospheric pressure. What is atmospheric pressure? Pressure of the atmosphere. Pressure of the atmosphere. So what I am trying to say is, as the depth in the fluid increases, pressure also increases. See, if PA is the pressure on the surface of the cylinder, then what about the pressure at P2? P2 is pressure at the surface plus rho GH. 1 plus something means increases, pressure increases. Correct? 1 plus something means pressure increases. So let's say the height is 1 meter. Then what will be the pressure at P2? PA plus rho G. Correct? PA plus rho G. If the height becomes 2 meter, height of the small cylinder becomes 2 meter, then PA plus 2 rho G. Correct? So value keep on increasing as the depth increases. As you go more depth inside the ocean or inside the river, pressure keep increasing. Pressure keep increasing. With what amount? With this amount, rho GH amount. So how much is your height? That much pressure increases. So pressure at any height or any depth is nothing but pressure, atmospheric pressure plus rho GH. Here variable is only GH, right? Because rho is the density of seawater. What is the density of seawater? 1.03 into 10 to the power of 3 Pascal. 1.03 into 10 to the power of 3. That is the pressure of seawater. So pressure at any height h will be is equal to atmospheric pressure plus rho GH. If h increases, pressure also increases. If you are on the surface of the sea, what will be your pressure? Your pressure will be atmospheric pressure, because on the surface the water is exposed to atmosphere. So pressure of water on the surface will be equal to the atmospheric pressure. But as the height increases, pressure also increase by this amount. So this rho GH is called as gauge pressure. What is that called? Gauge pressure. So if you are asked what is gauge pressure, so as the depth inside the fluid increases, pressure also increases. That increased amount of pressure inside the fluid with the height or with the depth is called as gauge pressure. Excess pressure, gauge pressure is a excess pressure inside the fluid. It will be increasing as the depth from the surface increases. Correct? So gauge pressure is nothing but the excess pressure inside the fluid. As the depth from the surface increases, that gauge pressure also keep on increasing. So pressure, this is what, see, mathematically now you don't have a doubt at all, and it will be very clear. Anybody can so it is more convincing. So when I say pressure increases as you go more down and down inside the sea, you might not agree with me, correct? So how it is possible, ma'am? Why it is so? But when I give you with the mathematical proof, when I tell you with the mathematical proof, there is no doubt at all, right? That's the power of mathematics. So mathematics and physics, they are like two faces of a coin. So without mathematics, physics cannot be understood. Mathematics is more beautiful when it is utilized or when it is used to explain physics. So maths and physics are the two faces of a same coin, you can consider. Maths always gives you a convincing statement, or maths is always convincing. 1 plus 2 is 3. No argument at all. Do you make an argument? So nobody makes an argument. It is clear cut. There is no confusion, there is no doubt. So that's why you find a lot of maths in physics, which is very, very important, which makes it more beautiful. Physics looks beautiful when the maths is added there. So when I say, okay, as the height increases above the earth's surface, pressure increases. No, you shouldn't agree with me. But when I give you the proof, yes, that's the proof, that is the truth, correct? So here see, as the pressure increases, as the depth inside the fluid increases, pressure also increases. So it's clear, right? So what and all we have learnt so far? We have learnt Pascal's law. Pascal's law na prakara, ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡಿನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಏರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಇವಾಗ ಏರ್, ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಿನ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪರ್ಸನ್ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾವಿಬ್ಬರು ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಡೆಸ್ಕಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪರ್ಸನ್ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಎಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಈ ಡೆಸ್ಕಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪರ್ಸನ್, ಬಟ್ ಆ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಇದು ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹೀ ಈಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಹೈಟ್, ನನಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೈಟಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೈಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ಲೋರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎಟ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ಲೋರ್, somebody is at the second floor, he will experience different pressure. ಒಂದೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೇವೆ ನಾನು, ಸೇಮ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಟಾಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೀ ಇನ್ ದ ಅನದರ್ ಫ್ಲೋರ್, ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ವಿಲ್ ವೇರಿ. But the same person comes down to my classroom and no matter where he stands, that corner, this corner, anywhere, but he will have the same pressure. Or if I stand in this classroom, he stands in any other classroom, but in the same floor, he will have the same pressure, because we are in a fluid medium. Fluid medium means air medium. That applies to the water medium also. Understood? So that is your Pascal's law. Gauge pressure means excess pressure. So as I told you, when I am at the top floor, I will experience more pressure than I am on the ground floor. That increase in the pressure when as the height increases or depth increases, right? That is your gauge pressure. Fluid alli depth andre liquid alli depth ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಾಗೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಓಕೆ, ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಾಗೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಮತ್ತು ಹೈಟ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಗೈನ್ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ಅರ್ಥಿನ ಸರ್ಫೇಸಿನ ಮೇಲಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಏರ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ಸ್, ಏರ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಏರ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಮಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥನ ನೀವು ಟಾಪ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನೀವೆಷ್ಟು ಹೈಟ್ ಹೋದಾಗೆ ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥಿನಿಂದ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುವ ಹಾಗೆ ಫೀಲ್ ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದು. Understood? So because so that's how I am saying here it as depth. So gauge pressure means excess pressure. So that is rho gh. So pressure yavattu height ina mele depend. Height andre depth kuda agtade. Under the surface of earth it is depth, above the surface of the earth it is height. So height or whatever depth you call it as, adra mele matra pressure depend aguvanthadu fluid alli. We have been discussing about mechanical properties of fluid in our previous classes. So in today's class, we are going to discuss about atmospheric pressure and gauge pressure. So we have discussed about it, about atmospheric pressure and gauge pressure. We have discussed in our earlier class. What we are going to discuss today is the devices which are used to measure atmospheric pressure and gauge pressure. So let's recall whatever we have learned in our previous classes. We have learned Pascal's law. According to that, pressure is same at every point of the fluid in a same height, and we have calculated gauge pressure. You know what is gauge pressure? That is the excess pressure. As the depth increases or as the height increases, pressure increases. That increased pressure is called gauge pressure. Pressure of the atmosphere, I am standing here, the pressure of this atmosphere is called as atmospheric pressure. Pressure of sea level, on the sea level is considered as base. It is the fundamental thing. The surface of the sea is sea level. So atmospheric pressure of sea level is how much, student? 1 atmospheric pressure. See, if this is ocean, so this surface of the so here what is the pressure? That is called atmospheric pressure. That is 1 atmospheric pressure. It is measured as 1 atmospheric pressure. If you want it in terms of Pascal, that is 1.013 into 10 to the power of 5 Pascal. Into 10 to the power of 5 Pascal. So there are other units of pressure also. One is torr, another one is bar. So torr is measured in terms of mm's, cm's. So that is measured for, torr is used in a medical purpose, or it is used in a physiological purpose, and bar, it is used for meteorology. So there are other units also. 1 torr is equal to how much? 1 torr 133 Pascal. 1 torr is equal to 133 Pascal. 1 bar, it is equal to 10 to the power of 5 Pascal. Alright, these are the measurement or units of pressure which are measured in different places. It will be measured in different unit. So Yes. Moving to these devices, the first one you see on the board, right? That is mercury barometer. It's barometer. Since we use mercury here, it's called mercury barometer. So why it is used? Mercury barometer is used to calculate the atmospheric pressure, students. You know what is atmospheric pressure? So that is the pressure on the sea level is atmospheric pressure, that is used to measure. Let's say you go some random place, you want to know what is the pressure. You are like you are a trekker, or you are a traveler, proper traveler. So you go to some unknown place like Amazon forest as a trekking, or some unknown place, very unknown place, and you have to take care of yourself. You should know the weather condition, you should know the pressure at that place, because you have to survive, it's unknown, correct? Yeah. So how do you measure the pressure? So it's a very simple setup, barometer. So which will have so this container will be filled with the pressure. Small container, you can take small bowl, it is filled with the mercury, and one glass tube, just like your test tube which we use in a chemistry lab, right? Or pipette, but not pipette, so something like that. So there is if one portion of the pipette is closed, so something like that. So it should be having one closed end, another one open end. I hope it's similar to your test tube. So just keep it immersed inside this container which is filled with the fluid. We have learnt, so what happens when you immerse a glass inverted inside the bowl or a vessel which is having water, the water will rise inside the bowl, glass. Similarly here, when I immerse this glass or this test tube kind of a thing in this container, this mercury will rise inside that test tube or inside this glass tube. So let's say this is the level of mercury in the container. This is the level of mercury in the glass tube. What is the height raised in the glass tube? H. So let's call it as H. Let's denote 2 points. One is the point above this level of mercury inside the glass tube. I hope you are following. ಒಂದು ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಂಟೈನರ್ಗೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಇನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಮ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಆವಾಗ ನೀವು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಅ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಯು ಮೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಪ್ಲೇಡ್ ದಿಸ್, ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ ಅ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಬಿಷನ್ ಯು ಮೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಶೋಡ್ ದಿಸ್. ವೆನ್ ಯು ಡೂ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ರಶ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮರ್ಕ್ಯೂರಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್. ಸೊ ಅದರ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟಿನ ಪಾಯಿಂಟನ್ನು ನಾನು ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಎಂಟಿ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬರೀ ಮರ್ಕ್ಯೂರಿದು ವೇಪರ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ filled with mercury vapor which is having negligible pressure. So I consider the pressure at A as a 0 because A having only vapor of mercury, there is no mercury there, so pressure of A is 0. So the pressure here on the top is also 0. Now I consider a point B and point C. Point C is the surface of the mercury in the container. Point B is in the same level. So from Pascal's law we know that B and C should have a same pressure, and C is having a pressure, atmospheric pressure. Why? Because C is the point, or this is the surface which is exposing to atmosphere. Point B ಮತ್ತು C ಒಂದೇ height ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರಿಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಸ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಎಂಥ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್, ಯಾವುದ್ರದ್ದು ಮರ್ಕ್ಯೂರಿದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸಿ ಇದ್ದು ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರೇ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕಲ್ವ. ಒಂದು ಗ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಫುಲ್ಲು ನೀರಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಆ ಗ್ಲಾಸಿನ ಮೇಲಿನ ಲೆವೆಲಿನ ವಾಟರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ಹಿಯರ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಟಾಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ pressure at C is atmospheric pressure, so PA. So B is in the same height as C, so pressure here is also PA. B is not exposing to atmosphere, but they are in the same height. From Pascal's law we have learned that the points which are in the same height should have the same pressure. I hope you are following. So So point B and point C have a same pressure. So ಇವಾಗ point B ಇಂದ point A ಗಿರುವಂತ height h. Correct? So how to calculate atmospheric pressure? So ನೀವು ಇವಾಗ at some random place you want to calculate atmospheric pressure, take a bowl, fill it with the mercury, take one test tube, immerse in that. Okay? And measure that height of mercury raised inside the test tube. Height from the bowl level. E level ಇಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು height ಆಗಿದೆ, because your test tube might be up to here, but you should measure it from here, because up here is the pressure which is equal to atmospheric pressure. So you should measure it from here up to where it is raised. So measure it. Your test tube will have a marker, so mark the length, so measure that and take it as a h. And the gap or up to where the mercury is raised, so here pressure is 0, because above that there is a mercury vapor I mentioned, so pressure is 0. So now how do we calculate? From gauge pressure formula we have calculated that pressure at any point is minus pressure at any point is equal to atmospheric pressure plus rho gh. Correct? Pressure at any height is equal to atmospheric pressure plus rho gh. So this is from this pressure at any point. Pressure difference between atmospheric pressure and at any point is nothing but rho gh. Here at any point it is 0. Pressure at A is 0. So I am measuring what is the pressure difference between A and B now using this formula. Okay, this is the formula. So I am measuring what is the pressure difference between A and B. So what is the pressure difference between A and B? It's rho gh. Correct? It's rho gh. So if you remember in the previous explanation or previous concept, so PA is the lower height and P was the depth. So here we can reform. This was the formula we have discussed in a previous class. We can reform this as PA minus P is equal to rho gh for this particular case. For this particular case, in the previous class we have discussed, we took a big cylinder and a small cylinder, and this height of the cylinder is taken as a h. This is P2, this is P1. P1 is equal to PA. So P2 minus P1 is equal to rho gh. That is what we have discussed in our previous class. Here P2 is at some depth. So which is at depth now? B is at depth. So what is the pressure at B? PA. So PA minus the pressure on the top. So here pressure is at A is on the top. So P. PA minus P is equal to rho gh. PA minus 0, because here pressure is 0, is equal to rho gh. So pressure is equal to rho gh. So this formula I wanted to give you to find out pressure at any point using barometer. How will you find out pressure at any point using barometer? So you will take a barometer, you will measure the height, and pressure, atmospheric pressure is rho gh. Rho means density of the mercury. What is the density? 13.6 into 10 to the power of 3 is the density of the mercury. It is constant value. G value is 9.8 and H value is how much height it is. If you are on the mountains, then H will be more. If you are on the beach, H will be very small. So H value whatever mentioned, so you will get what is the pressure at the point where you are. If you are on the Amazon forest, or if you are on the beach side, or if you are at some other mountain, so anywhere you can measure it using a barometer. So how pressure, atmospheric pressure is rho gh in a barometer? Because we followed the formula what we have discussed in our previous class, gauge pressure formula. According to gauge pressure formula, pressure difference between two points at different height or different depth inside the fluid is equal to rho gh. I repeat, ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡಿನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎರಡು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿನ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ರೋ ಜಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ P2 ಮತ್ತು P1 ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಎಟ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಹೈಟ್. P2 is at a height h, or sorry, P2 is at a depth h, P1 is on the top. So pressure difference P2 minus P1 is rho gh, because the one which is at lower height will have a more pressure, or one which is at some depth will have a more pressure. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ fluid ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೈಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, mercury ರೈಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, so pressure on the top of it is 0. I want to know what is the pressure here, which is the atmospheric pressure. So this pressure, atmospheric pressure, obviously atmospheric pressure must be greater than 0 because it is at low depth. So depth of B is more than A. So pressure difference between B and A is nothing but rho gh. I hope you understood this, because we have this formula. I have mentioned this formula. This formula is suitable for this because here atmospheric pressure is having lower depth and P2 is having more depth. So pressure at P2 minus pressure, atmospheric pressure, is rho gh, but I am taking it as a reverse here. The reason is atmospheric pressure is at higher depth and this pressure is at on the top. So I reverse the formula. So how do we find out pressure using barometer? By pressure, atmospheric pressure is equal to rho gh. This is the formula. No confusion, just take a barometer, fill it with the mercury in immerser test tube, measure the height of the mercury raised from this level and substitute to the formula. That's it, you will get atmospheric pressure. What is manometer? Manometer measures the pressure difference. Let's say you have some oil or you have some other fluid, gas. You want to measure the pressure of it. So you will measure the difference in the pressure of that gas with respect to the atmosphere. How will you measure? So manometer. Manometer is a U-shaped tube. So one end should be exposed to the atmosphere, other end should be filled with the gas or any other object whose pressure difference you want to measure. So for example, I have some liquid. I want to measure the pressure of it with respect to the atmosphere. I fill it here. So let's say P is the pressure of it. I want to know what is P. Okay. And this U-shaped tube is filled with any fluid. It might be water or it might be mercury. Any fluid whose density is you are aware about. So we know the density of mercury, we know the density of water. So you can fill this with the water. So it will be filled this way. You may ask me, so how can I fill this way? No, it will fill in this way only. So if you put any fluid, it will fill in this way only. This height may vary, but this is how it will fill. Okay. Now since one end is exposed to atmosphere, so obviously here in the surface pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure. Correct. Now see, this is the another level at the another end. So pressure at A should be equal to pressure at B. Correct. Pressure at A should be is equal to pressure at B. Correct. So let me name this as a C. Pressure at C is equal to atmospheric pressure. Pressure at C is equal to atmospheric pressure. Now what you have to do is, so from B to C, what is the height you have to measure? H is equal to BC. So that is the extra rise in the fluid, correct? So up to here they are in the same height. This is the extra rise in the fluid. So measure it. So now H is measured and use the gauge pressure formula. P2 minus P1 is equal to rho gh. P2 should have a lower height. So pressure at B minus pressure at C is equal to rho GH. So pressure at B is nothing but pressure at A, correct? Pressure at B is nothing but pressure at A minus pressure at C is nothing but atmospheric pressure is equal to rho GH. Okay. Pressure at A is nothing but pressure of this, because that gas is filled, its pressure will be filled up to here. So pressure at A is nothing but P minus atmospheric pressure is equal to rho GH. So pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure plus rho GH. You will get the pressure of this object or this fluid. Atmospheric pressure is known, rho GH. H is calculated, B is the height, rho is the density of the fluid which is filled here. It might be mercury, it might be water. G value is known. So this is the way of measuring pressure difference between pressure difference in the any fluid using manometer. This is used to measure atmospheric pressure, this is used to measure the pressure difference. If you have oxygen in a container, you want to know its pressure, fill it here and fill this manometer by any water or mercury and see the height here. So at A, pressure will be is equal to pressure of this oxygen you have taken, and find the same length. It will be already marked in your manometer. So note the point B and measure this height up to C. C is on the top, just measure it, and H is known. Now atmospheric pressure is measured using barometer. Now find out pressure of oxygen using manometer. So next, now I have a question for you. This is about two devices. I have a question for you. I have a setup like this and I have to fill it with the fluid. I pour it here, okay, I have a jug. I pour the fluid here. So which container will be filled first, students? No, not that question. So which will be having more height? I pour the fluid, so fluid will come down first. It will fill this horizontal cylinder. After that, which will be filled? Answer is all the cylinders will be filled. This is cylinder A, this is cylinder B, this is C, this is D. So when you pour, first D will be filled up to here, up to this height. So first what happens is D will be keep on filling up to this level. First D will be filled. After that, all the A, B, C cylinders will be filled parallelly. So if the water is rising here in this cylinder, it will be raised here in this cylinder, will be raised here in this cylinder. It's because of pressure, Pascal's law. Pressure at every point which are at same height will be equal. So pressure here is equal to pressure here, which is equal to pressure here, because they are in the same height. If you pour more, again this will be filled up to here, to the same height this will also be filled. To the same height this will also be filled. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಾನು ನೀರು ಹಾಕಿದರೆ ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಡಿ ಕಂಟೈನರ್ ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ? ಈ ಲೆವೆಲ್ವರೆಗೆ ಫುಲ್ ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎ, ಬಿ ಮತ್ತು ಸಿ ಆಲ್ ದ 3 ಕಂಟೈನರ್ಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ, ಸೇಮ್ ಹೈಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ನಾನು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ನೀವು ಮೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಈ ಹೈಟ್, ಈ ಹೈಟ್, ಈ ಹೈಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ದ ರೀಸನ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಎಟ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಹೈಟ್. ಒಂದೇ ಹೈಟಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿನ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಒಂದೇ ಕಂಟೈನರ್ಲಿ. ಇದು 4 ಕೂಡ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಆಲ್ ದ 4 ಆರ್ ಅ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಕಂಟೈನರ್. ಸೊ ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ at this point will be equal to pressure here, will be equal to pressure. So yes, so pressure at this point will be different than this pressure, but the pressure here will be equal to pressure here. which is equal to pressure in the same line. So that is Pascal's law. Now I have one more question. What I do is, so here I will do opening and I fit it with the piston. ಒಂದು ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ನ ನಾನು ಫಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ವಾಟರ್ನ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಇಫ್ ಐ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್, I push the piston, so water will rise in these 3 containers, correct? I stop pouring the water, I just push the water using this piston. Piston na use ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪುಷ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಂಟೈನರಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆ ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಸೇಮ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆ ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ದ ಹೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಫಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಫಿಲ್ಡ್ ಟು ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಹೈಟ್. I release this piston, they will come down, all the water will be in the same level. So if I release this piston, all the water level will be decreased in all the 3 containers. Yakentandre, you are pushing the piston is nothing but you are applying the pressure to this layer of water. Am I right? So all these containers are filled with the water now. When I compress this piston, ಈ piston ನ ಈ ಕಡೆ push ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ವಾಟರಿನ ಈ ಲೇಯರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಏರಿಯಾ, ನಾನು ಇದರಿಂದ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡೋದು ಈ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಏರಿಯಾಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಏರಿಯಾ, ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ ಏರಿಯಾ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ಬಟ್ that pressure will be transferred to all the waters in the container without diminished. ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಗೂ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು, ಅದು ಪಾಸ್ಕಲ್ಸ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಲಾ, ಅನದರ್ ಲಾ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಸ್ಕಲ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್? ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಕಂಟೈನರ್ and if you apply pressure to the fluid at any point, that pressure will be transferred to every single point in the container or every single point in the fluid without diminished. The pressure applied to the fluid at any point will be transmitted to the other part of the fluid without diminished. So that is Pascal's second law. So Pascal's laws are, one is pressure will be same at every point in the same height inside the fluid. Another one is the pressure applied to the fluid at any point will be transmitted without diminished to every point. That is another law. So these 2 laws are important, Pascal's 2 laws. So that's the reason ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಂಟೈನರಲ್ಲೂ ವಾಟರ್ ರೈಸ್ ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದು. when I ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಈ ಕಂಟೈನರಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ pressure applied to any end will be transmitted equally to all the end, or transmitted to every point without diminished. So as I told you earlier, so if there is no piston and this is closed here, so when I pour the water will be raised to the same level in this container, right? So that is called as ಆ ಒಂದು processಗೆ ನಾವು hydraulic paradox ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. So usually when I ask the question, some of you might have thought that, so when man pours the water here, very first this container, B container will fill, and next C will fill because opening of C is larger, and next A will fill, and at the end B will fill because opening of B is larger. Some other might have felt that when I pour the water, first C will fill because it is at the end, and then B will fill, and then A will fill. But truth is, when I pour the water, first D will fill because it is on the lower side. If we don't have D, then all the 3 will be filled equally. So otherwise you can say, when I pour the water, all the vessels will be filled equally. All A, B, C, D will be filled equally. Haudalva? So it starts from bottom and they filled equally. So that is a paradox, and that is called as hydraulic paradox. Hydraulic paradox na application tumba ide. So when you apply the brake, you are driving a car. When you apply the brake, your car will come to rest. How? ಸೊ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಎಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಕನ್ನು ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಯು ಆರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗನ್ನು ನೀವು ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಬಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದ 4 wheels will come to rest. In a train also, when he applies the brake, the whole train of such a 1 kilometer length will come to rest. Why? So because those brakes of the vehicle will work with this principle. How it has worked, we'll discuss in our next class. So that is, they are called hydraulic brakes and hydraulic lift. You give your car for service, you give your scooter for car. So how they wash it? Initially they will wash the whole outer surface. So they have to do some oil changing they have to do. They have to repair some engine inside the car. So somebody should go under the car. That used to be the earlier days. Now they have a system. ಕಾರನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಎಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, they will place the car on some surface. So that surface will lift slowly. So car will be at certain height and then you will work on the machines of the car, correct? So adana hydraulic lift anta heltave. Hydraulic lift, how it works, have you ever thought about it, or have you ever been to a mechanical shop or checked how it works? Hydraulic lift, many of you, especially boys, you must have seen it. So hydraulic lift, ನಿಮ್ಮ ವೆಹಿಕಲಿನ brakes, hydraulic brakes. So these are working under the principle of this hydraulic paradox. About this we will be discussing. So this is about today's class. Thank you.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.